Hello everyone, I represent Olabams Creations, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing us how to make this stylish Bubu dress. It has a keyhole at the waist and a drawstring at the shoulder. It is beginner friendly, and with the foundation of basic bodies that we have, we'll be able to draft and sew this perfectly. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back, and if you're a new subscriber, please ensure to like, share and subscribe to my channel. For this style, I have this beautiful flowered crepe material that I'll be using. I have 3.5 trousers, although not in one piece. I have 2 trousers and 1.5 trousers. I noticed that this fabric is a bit dull. You may not be able to see my chalk markings on it, so I decided to mimic what I'm supposed to do on the paper so you can see it clearly. So we have our starting line. I'm trying to mark out the bust line, followed by our waistline, hip line and our hem line. Here is our top line, our bust line, our waistline, hip line and hem. We have our natural neckline at 3 inches, and we ought to pick our shoulder drop at 8 inches, but because this is a batwing dress, we will measure where we want our sleeve extension to be. I came down by 2 inches there, and from the shoulder drop of 2 inches I will connect to the earlier 3 inches I've marked. My hips is 48 inches. I added 4 inches to give me 52. 52 divided by 4 will give me 13 inches. I will mark that 13 inches on the hip line and proceed to the hem line and add 3 inches or 4 inches to whatever I have on the hip line and mark on the hem line. I will just curve here like you see me doing. I may even choose to curve it more. It all depends on your preference. On our waistline we have 40 inches. 40 divided by 4 will give us 10 inches. You can add like 2 inches to that. I will be having a total of 12 inches here. The wideness of your keyhole is totally dependent on your preference. At that 12-inch mark that I made earlier, I went up by 3/4 inch and I came down by 3/4 inch. I will then connect with a straight line. Can you see that straight line? I will first trace out my butterfly shape at the side. I will then cut out my keyhole. When cutting on actual fabric, remember to add 1/2 inch seam allowance for joining at the shoulder. This is how our keyhole bubu will look like. I folded at the earlier point marked. I drew like 1/2 inch inwards on the keyhole point that I marked and I cut it out. Now coming to the fabric, the same explanation I gave you while we were cutting on the paper is what I'm doing here, and look at me cutting out my shape. I made the hem to be a bit slim. Remember to add your sewing allowance and everything, just everything I did on the paper. It's just that I'm using my actual measurement here. Look at me marking the keyhole on the fabric. Look at the way I'm cutting out my keyhole. You can put any desired neckline. Here I'm going to be using a normal round neck. I used 3 inches width and 4 inches depth. Here is the long strip of fabric that I'll be using for my drawstring casing. It was about 3 inches before I set the edges. Now I have about 2 inches, which is perfectly okay for me. Here is my shoulder. I've already joined the two together. I folded my drawstring casing together and I ironed it neatly to form a crease, just to make my work easier. There is no hard and fast rule about this, but I used iron to form the crease at the center. I folded the edges just to make it neat at the edge. The next thing to do here is to place the crease point on my shoulder line, and I will sew it down to the neckline. The next thing to do here is to sew on a straight line towards both of the edges of the set line. I used chalk to mark on the areas I'm going to be sewing. You don't have to mark with a chalk anyway. I did that for emphasis sake. And what I did on this side, I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side. I'm done with the casing now. I will need to pass the drawstring before piping the neckline with a bias. Before we do this, let's work on the keyhole. It's a bit trickish, but with constant practice, you will achieve the desired neatness. You know the right side of the fabric is facing up, meaning that the wrong side of my fabric is facing each other. I used a chalk to mark the right side where the keyhole is located. I deliberately put the chalk on the right side. I will pick the right side of my fabric that is facing me. I will pick the right side of the other side. Let me repeat what I am trying to do. Right side of the fabric is facing me and the other right side is facing the table, while the wrong sides are facing each other. Never mind the way the cloth is moving about. You will expect that with a lightweight fabric like this. I will pick the right side that is facing me. I will as well pick the wrong side that is facing the table, making sure the right sides face each other. I can sew directly if I want to, but I want us to use pin to hold it up so you will not be confused. It is right side facing right side so that I can sew on the wrong side. I want to pin it up so you can see what I am doing. You know, by the time we finish sewing it, the keyhole will be a bit enlarged. That's why I don't want to encourage us to enlarge the hole too much before sewing it. Look at how neat it is while still holding with pin. We are done sewing here. See how neat it is after ironing. Here is the rope I'm going to be using as a drawstring. It's about 64 inches. You can choose your desired length. And look at the way I'm going to be joining the rope together. I put the bias. I'm using a bias. You can use anything. I just put them together and I placed it on the machine to sew. There's no hard and fast rule. You can use anything as your drawstring. Just take a sneak peek at the way I joined the bias together. You can see. You can use anything just like I've said before, but this is just what I have available with me here. So that's how I'm going to do it until the end. This is the sleeve part and here is my neck area. So I have my safety pin that I've attached to my drawstring and I will start inserting from my neck area down to the sleeve area. Then I will finish it up at my neck side. I will insert it on the other side as well, just like you see me doing. That's the sleeve part. Here is the drawstring. I'm going to be pulling it out at the sleeve area because that's where I want the string to draw. Then at the neck area, I will find a means of holding those two loose ends together. I'm holding it with my machine. You can use your office pin or as you desire. I'm going to be locking it at the edge here. Here is the neck area and I'm going to be locking the drawstring. The drawstring was tightly secured at the neck area and it's drawn from the sleeve area. The only thing that is left now is for me to tape the neck with bias and I will show you the final outcome. So here is our bias. I'm placing it on the right side of the fabric. So the right side of the bias facing the right side and I'm going to sew around the neck. Plus I'm here. So I'm done with the first strand. I will now turn it and do a neat job around. Look at what I am doing. I'm done with it. Here is the drawstring and I'm going to wear it on a model for you to see. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Here is the outcome of our bubu on model. It's very beautiful and very simple to make. And here is another variation of the style. Thanks for standing by.